In the near future, do you want a new live-action movie made about Conan the Barbarian, or Kull of Atlantis, or John Carter of Mars? If so, what actor or actors do you want involved as which character or characters? This video presents a chronological series of comic book covers from top to bottom related to each character. First Conan the Barbarian, then Kull of Atlantis, and then John Carter of Mars. For each character, the covers of the first 25 issues of Marvel Comics series that were published starting in the 1970s. As the covers go by, lots of fascinating information is presented about the creators of each of the characters, plus the origin of each of the characters. However, the information is not necessarily intended to relate to the specific cover being shown at that time. Notably, all three characters were created before the golden age of comic books, which was from 1938 to 1956, and were featured in pulp magazines. Conan and Kull were both created by Robert E. Howard, an American writer who lived from 1906 to 1936. He wrote pulp fiction in a diverse range of genres and is regarded as the father of the sword and sorcery subgenre. By 1932, Howard had officially conceptualized Conan, and in his lifetime wrote 21 stories, many for Weird Tales Pulp magazine. Conan the Barbarian is a sword and sorcery hero. In 1982, there was a Conan the Barbarian movie starring Arnold Schwarzenegger as Conan, and there were more Conan movies after this. Many stories involve Conan in heroic adventures filled with princesses and wizards. The setting is in a mythical Hyborian age set in the times after the fall of Atlantis and before any known civilization. Conan has a penchant for saving damsels in distress, a humorous nature, and enduring loyalty. Conan's main abilities are strength, combativeness, intelligence, agility, and endurance. Conan is a Cimmerian and was born on a battlefield and is the son of a village blacksmith. Conan matured quickly as a youth, and by age 15, he was already a respected warrior who had participated in the destruction of the Aquilonian fortress of Venarium. After its demise, Conan was struck by wanderlust and began the adventures chronicled by Howard, encountering skulking monsters, evil wizards, and beautiful princesses. Conan roamed throughout the Hyborian Age nations as a thief, outlaw, mercenary, and pirate. As Conan grew older, he began commanding vast units of warriors and escalating his ambitions. In his 40s, Conan seized the crown from the tyrannical king of Aquilonia, the most powerful kingdom of the Hyborian Age, having strangled the previous ruler on the steps of his own throne. Conan's adventures often result in him performing heroic feats, though his motivation for doing so is largely to protect his own survival or for personal gain. Starting in the 1960s, a series of Conan paperback books were published, 8 of which had phenomenal Frank Frazetta covers that set the look of Conan from that point on. Kull of Atlantis is a sword and sorcery hero. In 1997, there was a Kull the Conqueror movie starring Kevin Sorbo as Kull and Tia Carrere as his female enemy. That movie was originally intended to be the third Conan movie, Conan the Conqueror, but Arnold Schwarzenegger declined to play the role of Conan. Kevin Sorbo was reluctant to redo a character already played, so the character was changed to Kull. In the Conan the Barbarian story, Shadows of the Skull, it is revealed that Conan is a direct descendant of Kull. Kull is very much like his descendant Conan in many ways. He is a fierce warrior, ruthless and courageous on the battlefield, but not tyrannical or cruel. He has a strong sense of chivalry and virtue. Unlike Conan, Kull is much more philosophical and brooding. He agonizes over decisions that affect the lives of those around him, always looking for the most noble action to take. He is uncomfortable with kingship and prefers the life of a general. Kull was born in pre-cataclysmic Atlantis 100,000 BC. He was a pirate between his adolescence and his early 20s. He then became a mercenary and then a leader of mercenaries. By his early 30s, he is involved in a revolt and becomes a king. Once a king, he faces several internal and external challenges. John Carter of Mars is a science fiction hero. In 2009, there was an independent studio, The Asylum, direct-to-DVD movie titled Princess of Mars, with Antonio Sabato Jr. as John Carter and Tracy Lords as Dejah Thoris. In 2012, there was a Disney movie titled John Carter, starring Taylor Kitsch as John Carter and Lynn Collins as Dejah Thoris. John Carter was created by Edgar Rice Burroughs, an American author that lived from 1875 to 1950, who also created Tarzan, Carson of Venus, Moon Maid, and many other characters. He was best known for his prolific output in the adventure, science fiction, and fantasy genres. John Carter and his romantic interest Dejah Thoris debuted in the story Under the Moons of Mars, serialized in the February to July 1912 issues of the All-Story Pulp magazine. The serialization was published as the novel A Princess of Mars in 1917. 10 more Mars books were published over the next several decades. This Mars series inspired a number of well-known science fiction writers, including Jack Vance, Ray Bradbury, Arthur C. Clarke, Robert A. Heinlein, and John Norman. The series was also inspirational for many scientists in the fields of space exploration and the search for extraterrestrial life, including Carl Sagan, who read A Princess of Mars when he was a child. John Carter of Mars was a major influence on other science fiction tales and characters, including Buck Rogers, Flash Gordon, Superman, Adam Strange, Dune, Star Wars, and Avatar. The story starts with John Carter, a Civil War veteran prospecting for gold in Arizona. To escape from hostile Apaches, he enters a cave. In that cave, he is mysteriously teleported to Mars. On Mars, with its lower gravity, he discovers that he is effectively much stronger than on Earth. For example, he can jump much higher. He soon encounters large, green, six-limbed, aggressive human-like creatures called Tharks. The Tharks subsequently capture Dejah Thoris, a princess of Helium, a member of a red-skinned human-like group of Martians, and John Carter rescues her. She is courageous, resolute, and beautiful. On Mars, which its natives call Barsoom, Carter encounters both formidable alien creatures resembling the beasts of ancient myth and various humanoids. He finds his true calling in life as a warlord who strives to save the planet's inhabitants. To conclude this video, back to the questions asked at the beginning of the video. In the near future, Do you next want a new live-action movie made about Conan the Barbarian, or Kull of Atlantis, or John Carter of Mars? If so, what actor or actors do you want involved as which character or characters? More videos like this one, short and longer, can be viewed at the Comic Excitement Convention, Sword and Sorcery playlist, and Science Fiction playlist. Please like, comment, subscribe, and click the notifications bell.